Hello everyone, I'm Yang Yang. Welcome to Tea House, China Radio International's online video talk show. You can watch our program online at www.crienglish.com and also enjoy Tea House via iPad. To do so, click on CRI Video and then the teapot button down here to find our program. To download the application, search for CRI Video in the App Store. Today, we'll have a cup of tea with David Moser, the Academic Director of China Educational Travel, or CET Beijing Chinese Studies. He will talk about education and the Chinese study in China.
David Moser holds a PhD in Chinese Studies from the University of Michigan. He first came to China in 1987 as a visiting scholar at Peking University and taught at the Beijing Foreign Studies University from 1996 to 2001. You may have also seen him on CCTV 10 Outlook English show, where he worked as host and program advisor. He has studied with xiangsheng performer Ding Guangquan since 1997 and was one of the 4 foreigners to appear on the 1999 CCTV Spring Festival Gala. He's now Academic Director of the Washington, D.C. CET Overseas Study Program at Capital Normal University. He also plays jazz piano in various Beijing jazz groups.
Hi David, welcome to our program and to enjoy the tea.
Thank you. Yeah, I've heard a lot about this famous tea, Yang Yang's tea.
From your friends, from our previous guests. Thank you very much. And today I prepared a special kind of tea for you and hope you'll like it.
Thanks.
You know, this year marks the 70th anniversary of China Radio International. What would you like to say to CRI?
Well, I feel like I'm a friend of CRI because this is not the first CRI show I've been on. I've been on several of the English shows over there. And I think CRI has come a long, long way. There's a lot more English shows, and they've made a lot of improvements. A lot of my friends now listen to CRI and really like it. So the only hope I have for CRI is to keep doing the English programming, keep opening up.
I know that you became a very famous performer of crosstalk, of xiangsheng, stand-up comedy. And how did you become a performer of xiangsheng?
I was always interested in crosstalk, and when I did my master's degree, met some crosstalk performers and learned from them a little bit, and I wrote my thesis on crosstalk. And then after that, some people said, well, you learned all this stuff about xiangsheng, why don't you just go on TV? And you can actually do it. Because back then there was also Da Shan, who was doing crosstalk. They said they like foreigners to go on TV and do crosstalk. So I thought, no, I'm just I said, a shudai's a bookworm, I don't want to do TV shows. They said, no, go ahead, try it. So I started to do it, and I began to study with this famous performer named Ding Guangquan, who's the disciple of a famous crosstalk performer named Hou Baolin. And I took him as my teacher in 1997, and I studied with him and went on TV with him a lot. And he was great. He helped me out a lot.
Please show a piece on the show.
A little bit long. 2 kinds of people, a lama, a monk, like the Lama temple, right? And then he's holding in his hand a kind of fish called the tama. So it's a lama holding a tama. Then the other type of person is a deaf mute, someone who can't speak. And that's a yaba. And in his hand or in his belt, he's holding a thing called a trumpet, which is a laba. So you have a lama holding a tama and a yaba holding a laba. Okay? So that's the 4 things, all right? So here's the story. It's a little tongue twister, right? 当南边来了一个喇嘛，手里提了这5斤塔嘛，他北边来了一个哑巴，要了这边这个喇叭，提了塔嘛哑巴那个喇嘛，他要拿那个塔嘛换别喇叭哑巴这个喇叭，别喇叭哑巴就不拿喇叭换提了塔嘛哑巴那个塔嘛，提了塔嘛喇嘛急了拿塔嘛打别喇叭哑巴一塔嘛，别喇叭哑巴也急了拿了喇叭打这个提了塔嘛喇嘛一喇叭。 也不知道是提了塔嘛拿塔嘛打别喇叭哑巴一塔嘛，还是别喇叭哑巴拿喇叭打了提了塔嘛喇嘛一喇叭。
Okay, thank you very much. You know that you are among the first group of foreigners coming to China to learn about xiangsheng, art of Chinese. And what is your understanding of Chinese humor?
After studying for a long time, my conclusion is that in a certain way, there's no difference between Chinese humor or American humor or any type of humor in the world. It's all the same deep mechanisms. It involves playing with logic, playing with your expectations, the element of surprise, absurd exaggeration, and like satirizing pompous officials and so on and so forth. You know, it's the same kind of thing. What's different is the cultural content of the joke and also the style in which you do it, because different cultures tend to be maybe more subdued or polite. Other cultures are more aggressive and angry, you know. But the basic content is the same. So most jokes actually can translate pretty well, but you may have to change some of the cultural content or maybe some of the style to make the audience in the other culture laugh. But the basic, what we call the 包袱 in Chinese, you know, the joke, the logical content is the same.
And when and how did you
international schools. I think there are more than 50 international schools in Beijing alone. Some of these are associated with certain countries, like there are British international schools, there are French international schools. Some are associated with embassies. There are also a lot of private international schools. They're just by private entrepreneurs. And they also come in different sizes. Some are huge with more than 1,000 students. Some are smaller with only a few hundred. There's actually a large price range too. Unfortunately, they're all rather expensive. So you have to be prepared for that. And you come here, and to go to one of the major international schools in Beijing, it could cost me as much as $15,000 to $20,000 a year to send my daughter to grade school, which is, you might as well send her to Harvard University at that price. But there are cheaper options, and there are some smaller international schools where the fees are not quite so great, maybe even half that much. The other option that my daughter, she's now in high school, but she's going to one of the Chinese high schools that has a foreign department. So it's a Chinese high school, but they have a department that allows foreign students to come in and study. And they're part of what's called IB, the International Baccalaureate. So it means that the curriculum is essentially the same as most standard high school curricula in other parts of the world. So in other words, it's going to be Western curriculum by and large, and up to the usual standards of American and European countries in terms of the major courses like geography, science, math, and these sorts of things. And of course, there will be other courses that aren't part of that curriculum, such as Chinese, and maybe even some Chinese culture courses. But essentially, it guarantees your child will get a foreign education at this Chinese school. The advantage of that for me, and the reason why we switched her, it's much cheaper. And the other advantage for me, because I would like my daughter to be more bicultural, to know more about Chinese culture. So in these schools, you tend to get, although it's mainly foreign students, you have a lot of Chinese teachers, and you come in contact with Chinese students a lot more. So you're in a Chinese world, in addition to being in a foreign world. It's kind of a bicultural environment. So your Chinese and English are getting both. It's bicultural and bilingual education.
What does your daughter often discuss with you after school?
Well, I think the high school is high school. Junior high is junior high. It's the same world over. I mean, it's gossip, boyfriends, hair, sort of social life and things like that. But, one difference is between this Chinese school and the international school is certain subjects like math are harder at the Chinese school than at the international school because they tend to be more in the Chinese system. So, and the Chinese teachers, the math teachers are Chinese usually, at least in this situation. So her math is really hard. And her Chinese classes, of course, are very hard too. But other than that, it's actually just like a typical high school, really. Except the student body, the students tend to be very diverse. I think it's a great experience for her, actually. And she told me the other day that she was very happy, in fact, that she had come to China. She's very adjusted here. She actually is getting old enough where she enjoys living in a big cosmopolitan city like Beijing. When you're younger, you don't care so much. You just want it to be clean and fun. And she's now beginning to realize that Beijing is an amazing city now. It's got so many opportunities and so many interesting things to do. I think she's feeling the excitement. And also when she goes back to the United States and is with her little friends there in the United States, they're not little anymore, they're junior high. But when she goes back and sees her friends or cousins in the United States, the attitude of them in the US is, oh, wow, you're from Beijing. Cool. Wow, we hear about Beijing a lot. And they'll say, this is my friend, my daughter's name is Leah. This is my friend Leah. She's from China. And people go, wow, Beijing, China, cool.
We all admire her, right?
Yeah, so now it's like, yeah, Beijing, China. Yeah, so she's happy to be here now.
And what do you think that your daughter can benefit from Chinese schools?
It's good that she can make more Chinese friends. I think it's good that she is taught by Chinese teachers because they teach differently than foreign teachers do. I think it's good that she meet many people of different cultures and understand that there's different cultural traditions and languages. And I think it's good to get a different sense of different cross-cultural kind of educational attitudes.
And what suggestions?